Welcome back, everybody, to Keys and Gears. Today, we're going to talk about home inspection, something very important in the process, how to pick your home inspector, how not to pick your home inspector, and what to look for. So join us here. I'm Mark Liesner, local mortgage broker in Dallas, and this is Bess Dickson, local mortgage real estate professional. And between us, we have over 40 years of real estate experience. So listen up. So today we're going to talk about home inspection, Bess.
Yes.
That's kind of your wheelhouse, not my financing
The
wheelhouse.
first in our series, we brainstormed about
Right.
this and multiple.
It's an unsexy topic,
Critical.
but it's really important because a lot of homeowners are anxious about who's inspecting their house, and the home buyers, if this is your first home or your second home, you're relearning things about the home inspection process, right? And so it's a critical step, and it's an anxious step for a home buyer. What am I going to find? How am I going to find the right inspector that is good for me? So let's start there. Where do you pick them? Like, how do you, where do you go for that? Do you just go online and just type in home inspector in Dallas, or what do you do?
You certainly could.
Right.
You certainly could. And let the Google lottery pick somebody for you. I don't know.
the guy with the best SEO game.
Right?
In town, right?
The best SEO game, right? So, but I have found a curated approach is probably the best, and sets up my tribe, my people for success. And for me, that means that I have 3 inspectors that are on speed dial to me that I have found great experience with, and they were chosen for a variety of reasons. But if you're working with a real estate professional, or if you are daring to purchase real estate without one, you may not have that.
Right.
May not have that great.
So hopefully you have a
curated
real estate
list.
professional that can guide you as to here are 3 names to call. Here's somebody that you should interview, right? If you don't have that, you could also go to your friends and your family to see who bought a house recently and
had a good experience.
That's it. Because most times I hear stories, and as a real estate broker in my past life, I experienced those stories of bad inspections, right? And inspections that didn't go well, inspectors that didn't communicate well,
right.
And things like that really are super important to the process as a home buyer. You want to have somebody.
Let's reverse for a second.
Yeah.
Let's define bad inspection.
Yeah.
Because I believe that's an important part.
Going off on a tangent here, but
all right, that's my specialty, tangents. Well, because there's just so much. There's so much meat to all of this. We could go into depth forever over multiple cups of coffee. But what is a bad inspection? A bad inspection is one that stays at a 30,000 level overview of the house and doesn't actually deep dive into the systems and safety of the house. And let's define that. Let's even go this route. Let's define a 30,000 level view. In the state of Texas, inspectors are regulated, they are licensed, and they do need to follow a state mandated form.
Yes.
They all have their own processes and own styles of inspecting a house, but there is a particular form that they have to complete. And that form is useful. It does provide consistency. I've also found with bad inspections, it causes laziness. Yeah. And that is, I'm checking a box and I'm moving on. That is not very helpful. No. Anyone else everyone has different types of, or has experienced different auto mechanics. And some of them, right? Do they not just go through a checklist? And others actually take the time to say, hey, so this is going on and this is good. Hey, this is showing where, this is a panic moment. This is not a panic moment.
Right.
That is really the nuanced difference.
It brings up something that I always try to caution my buyers is distinguish between a repair that's critical to owning this house versus deferred maintenance. Something that it hasn't been maintained very well, isn't broken yet, but probably will be broken in the future.
Totally. And actually, you and I discussed, that's a great teaser for our next one.
Yes. But back
we do want to talk about what
picking,
inspections really, really are, right? But how do you get to the actual inspection? So how do you find that inspector, that good inspector? If you don't have an agent, if you don't have friends and family that have a good experience, yes, you could go. Better Business Bureau or Dallas or a Chamber of Commerce. Why? Because those inspectors have taken the time to complete the paperwork. Many of those organizations do a bit of vetting.
Right.
They also are showing commitment, and that is they are paying the annual fee that it takes to be part of those organizations, and that is a good differentiator. In other words, that they care. That's important thing to do. And the other little insight, how does Bess pick her inspectors is probably what you're wondering. How does Bess? I obviously come in contact with a lot of inspectors, and my number one first question that I ask is, tell me about your life in regards to housing and home outside of inspection.
Yep.
All right. Oh, my dad was a contractor, so I grew up going with him to the job site. Oh, yes, we love that.
Yes.
All through college, I lived in beat up old houses, and so me and my buddies ended up remodeling a lot of them.
Yep.
That's a great answer too. I have bought and sold multiple homes in multiple cities.
Correct.
At different ages, and
Or I was a landlord. I owned rental properties. I was in the trades myself. I was a carpenter or a plumber or electrician. Those guys have been around enough houses to know things that other people don't know.
The answer we don't want to hear?
Somebody that just went to a course and got their license, that's not somebody you want to hire, in my opinion. You want somebody with life experience.
When their answer is, I used to be a school teacher. School teachers are important.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Okay.
We love school
but
teachers.
I used to be a school teacher, and during COVID, I got burned out on that. That's actually a fairly common thing right now. I've always been interested in houses. I thought it'd be kind of fun to be a home inspector.
Just not a good answer. No.
Well, because even if they have a great heart and great passion, and I totally applaud that for them, I do not want them practicing on my people.
Yes.
I don't want them practicing on you. Let them
Right.
practice on somebody else, because every home is very similar to us as humans, and that is we are unique and interesting and have all sorts of great systems pulsing all through us, and they're each individual to us, and homes are just the same way. So if your only experience is in a classroom with a dry board that says this and this and this, you're gonna miss that little extra.
Little sidebar on this, picking the inspector with the real estate professional. In my experience as a real estate professional in my previous life, I figured out first what my clients were like, right? So what are you like as a person? Are you an engineer? Are you an artist? What are you in deep down your core? And that's what I would match with the inspector, because some inspectors are more like engineers, some are more like artists, right? And they need to be able to speak to each other, because if they're not speaking to each other, your inspector can ruin the deal for no good reason, because they're just not communicating the way you want to be communicated with. So that's a big deal for me, because an engineer needs to sit there for 3 hours with that inspector and go through the 100-page report. Right. That's what they expect. And if you're hiring an inspector that's an artist, they're going to gloss over most of it. They're going to give you 5 things that need to be done, right?
And maybe a slight twist or turn of phrase on ruin the deal. I would say it's more going back to what you're talking about, different personalities and types. You may not, if your inspector speaks in a different style than what your ears are very good at hearing, you may miss some critical pieces of information.
Right.
And this is not like a $5 Starbucks purchase that we're doing here. It's a little bit more in depth. It's like hundreds of thousands of dollars that we're talking about. So we do want to make sure that we are fully hearing and understanding what is being communicated.
And what I mean is you're turning down a house potentially that is perfectly good for you, and you starting this home search all over again when there was no need. It was just a miscommunication that caused you to say, well, I guess this house is not for me, right? So you want to avoid that as much as possible, because I've seen too many buyers walk away from houses that were really perfect for them. And then I end up buying the wrong house, by the way, later on.
Right.
Like literally the wrong
house. And a good example of that I have is I had a very direct, detailed, driven, buyer.
Mhm.
And she's adorable. But Bess, what do you think? I would share. I shared my three suggested, but yet there's more.
Yeah.
And so she did her Googling, she did her research. She ended up picking someone off of one of those mass public lists.
Right.
And fun fact, this was in fact a new build home. So part of it is she's very careful with her dollars. She did not like the fact that I was suggesting that you get a home inspection, even if it's a new build home. That's another episode.
Yeah, that's
Okay. But anyway, all that being said, she picked her inspector.
Yes.
I had never heard of him in my life. So brand new build home. I need to say that again because I need to say the next, which is the report that we received was 70 pages long. 70. Okay, so what does that mean, Bess? Well, an average report for an average home by an average experience inspector is about 46 pages.
Right.
New home,
Yeah.
70 pages. So needless to say, my sweet little buyer went into a mild panic attack. I myself went into a quiet panic attack because I'm like, holy cow!
As professionals, we're paid to be quietly observant. Yes.
But anyway, and I also, yes, I was very happily, quietly passive aggressive and went and searched up his number and because you
Looked
can
him
do
up.
that.
Yeah.
Looked him up and what do you know? He had just recently gotten his inspection license, so he was earning his money.
He was proving a point. Yes. Yeah.
Golly. Anyway, so we walked through and she called me in tears. She was like, oh my gosh, this is awful. This is it. The sky is falling. Not really. But I said, okay, well, let's just go through this. I said, good news. And here's a quick side hack, side thought. Because it is a new home build and new home builders are planning, they do whatever it takes for you to buy the house.
Yeah.
And so when you have a home inspection on a new build, it's a final walkthrough punch list.
Right.
So after she cried a little bit and we had some coffee and a hug and we talked about it, I said, great news. Let's go through. Let's take a highlighter, highlight all the things that really are your biggest angst. I said, but even better news is we're going to take the whole 70 pages and we're going to hand it to the builder and say, as soon as you've got that taken care of, we're going to write you a check.
Right.
Not a minute before.
Right.
So yes, she did move forward and she did buy the house. She was pretty darn excited about it. But there you go. That's Bess's story of the day when it comes to what can happen with home inspections. And picking the wrong one or picking a mass one or picking one that was not recommended by someone that you know, love, and trust. There is a difference.
Some inspectors believe that their role is to be the alarmist, to be the, to the nth degree of this is how it needs to be, notwithstanding that this house is 100 years old. So you got inspectors out there who say, no, this is the way it should be, when in reality, you've got to take into account what you're looking at. If you're looking at a new construction house and it has that much wrong with it, yeah, there's something wrong. But if you're looking at a 100-year-old house and it has a 70-page report, not unusual. And you need professionals around you that can decipher that for you and say, I know you're crying right now, but it's not. Let's go to page 5 and page 10. That's really where the majority is. And hopefully the inspector would have done that. And that's what I mean by communicating with you. The inspector needs to be on your wavelength and understand what are you expecting yourself.
Hey, by state law, I have to tell you, this is what's going on.
Right.
From my experience, this is what I have found.
Exactly.
Questions, you need to bring in a specialist, which in closing, think of a home inspector as well as a general practitioner physician. Yeah. And that is, he's qualified to recognize dysfunction in multiple systems and safety within a home, but he does not have deep dive expertise on any one system. And that's part of what your inspection, a good inspection, will suggest is, hey, this HVAC looks like it's coughing. It's got like a hack cough. You may want to call an HVAC specialist to come out and do a deep dive for you, not too dissimilar from your general care physician.
So How to pick an inspector. Best way is have a real estate professional on your side with experience that has worked with these people for a long time. Number 2 is friends and family. Distant third is go online and Google it. I hate that answer.
/ cross-check it with.
I would not even put that on there. Don't even dig deep enough. Ask enough people until you find people who've done a good inspection, right? And you've got to interview them, which is a whole other podcast probably. How do you interview an inspector? What do you ask? So where you shouldn't go, I don't recommend Googling ever. That's just not a part of the thing.
Useful tool, maybe not.
No, not really. No, not when it's this critical to the whole thing. So characteristics. What did we discuss? Characteristics wise, it has to fit your personality as to what you're expecting from the inspector, and be clear with them on what you expect. I want in-depth. I want every little detail. I want 3-hour consultation afterwards to explain everything to me. Great. Just be upfront with it, right? Characteristics of what do we need to see in an inspector? Lived experience, right? They've lived in houses. They've renovated houses. Maybe they were a tradesman, right? So what else do we have on characteristics that home inspectors should possess? Experience, longevity in the business, right? What else?
And I would say, in closing on that, sure, Google a little bit if you have a name that
Right.
someone has given you, it doesn't hurt to do a Google.
Then Google, yeah.
I mean, double check.
Yes, double check. Bottom line is ask a professional in the business, please. Don't do this alone. So anyway, we're here for you. Please drop us a line, keysandgears@gmail.com. If you have any kind of real estate questions, any kind of finance questions too, if you have topics that you would like to hear about, please email us, let us know. You can follow us, like us, forward this to other people that might need this information. We'll see you next time.
We're here for you.